Oh, we're ready to get it going today. How are you, ma'am?
Great. Did you guys get information that we need the Spanish speaker to go first today for the interpreter?
You know what? We did. Did you want to do the Spanish speaker first or after the house one?
I would like to do the Spanish speaker first if we could, please.
We can accommodate, no problem. Give me 10 seconds.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. Is the Spanish speaker a felony? I don't see that on my list.
No, Ms. Roscoe, it's a misdemeanor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right. Do we have the interpreter on the line with us?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning. Hi, ma'am. Tell me your name.
Good morning. Hola, señora. Dígame su nombre.
Mi nombre es Yudiria Gabriela Córdoba.
My name is Yuridia Gabriela Córdoba.
Ms. Cordova, you are here today on charges of domestic violence, disorderly conduct.
Señora Córdoba está aquí el día de hoy por cargos de violencia doméstica, alteración al orden público.
This is a misdemeanor offense.
Este es un delito menor.
You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Tiene el derecho a guardar silencio, todo lo que hará en su contra.
This is the time for your initial appearance, where we're going to set your conditions of release on this matter.
Esta es la hora para su comparecencia inicial, donde vamos a fijar sus condiciones de libertad con respecto a este caso.
I've had the opportunity to review some information prepared by pretrial services for the court.
Tuve la oportunidad de revisar una información que preparó la agencia previa al juicio para el juez.
I've also had an opportunity to review the Form 4C, the Intimate Partner Risk Assessment that was prepared by law enforcement.
También tuve la oportunidad de revisar el formulario C que preparó, and I'm sorry, who prepared this form, Your Honor?
Law enforcement.
La agencia del orden público con respecto a una evaluación que le hicieron con respecto al riesgo de una pareja íntima.
If I release you today, ma'am, will you promise to appear at a court date that I give you in the future?
Si la dejo salir en libertad el día de hoy, señora, ¿usted promete comparecer en su próxima audiencia en la corte, la que yo fije?
Sí.
Yes.
I am going to release you today on your promise to appear.
La voy a dejar en libertad el día de hoy bajo promesa de que usted va a comparecer.
Your conditions of release involve committing no further acts of domestic violence.
Sus condiciones de libertad conllevan que ya no debe cometer ningún otro acto de violencia doméstica.
It does appear that the victim in this case, Mr. Serrano, is okay having...
Parece ser que...
Sorry, hang on just a second. Is okay having further contact with you.
Parece ser que la víctima, el señor Serrano, está de acuerdo en continuar teniendo contacto con usted.
But if he changes his mind and says he does not want you to have any contact with him, you need to abide by that. Do you understand those conditions of release?
Señora, pero si en algún momento el señor cambia de parecer y ya no quiere tener contacto con usted, usted tiene que acatar eso y no tener contacto. ¿Usted entiende que estas condiciones de libertad?
Sí.
Yes.
Your next court date is going to be May 12th at 10:30 in Pima County Justice Court.
Su próxima audiencia en una corte va a ser el 12 de mayo a las 10:30 de la mañana en el Pima County Justice Court.
You do have to appear at that date and time. If you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest.
Usted tiene que comparecer en esa fecha, a esa hora, porque si no se presenta, se puede emitir una orden por su arresto.
Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear?
¿Usted entiende las consecuencias si no se presenta en la corte?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, so you're all done for today, ma'am.
Muy bien, señora, ya terminamos con su caso.
Gracias.
Thank you. May the Spanish interpreter be excused?
Yes, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your interpreter is disconnecting.
I'm set out. Just see one take interest afterwards.
Hi, tell me your name.
Baron Brown.
Mr. Brown, you are here today on charges of interfering with the judicial proceeding and trespassing in the third degree. These are going to be matters handled at Pima County Justice Court. This is the time for your initial appearance. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We're here to talk about your conditions of release. Mr. Brown, if I release you today, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
I will do my best. I'm scheduled effective. I have a hard time, but I will try my best to show up, yes.
What is keeping you from going to court?
I'm scheduled effective. I have a hard time keeping track of time and dates.
Okay. The other issue that I have is if I release you today, you are not allowed to return to the University of Arizona. You can't go anywhere near there.
I was hungry.
So will you also agree to stay away from the University of Arizona?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Mr. Brown, I am going to release you today on your promise to appear. Your conditions of release are not returning to the incident location. The victim is the U of A, and you can't go anywhere near there. So stay away from all of the University of Arizona campus area. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. When you get released later today, I'm going to give you your court date in a minute, but you're going to get paperwork from the jail that's going to have that court date and time. Have you ever been to the transition center, Mr. Brown? The one right there at the jail? Okay. When you get released later today, if you follow the blue line that's going to be on the ground as soon as you walk out of the door, that blue line on the ground is going to take you to a white trailer that's right on the corner of the jail property. It's called the transition. It's called the transition center. It has a big blue line. If you go there before you leave the area, they will assist you with making sure that you have help getting your court date and any other services that you may need. All right?
Okay.
Okay, so take the piece of paper when you get released that's going to have the court date on it. That court date is going to be May 12th at 9:30 at Pima County Justice Court. That's in the downtown area. The address and phone number is going to be on that piece of paper that you get. You are required to appear for that hearing. If you fail to appear, they're going to issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear, Mr. Brown?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. They're very nice people at the transition center, and I know they'll be more than happy to assist you. So I really encourage you to go by there today when you get out, okay?
Okay.
All right, you're all done for today, Mr. Brown.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, that's it.
Hi, tell me your name.
Daniel Cameron.
Mr. Cameron, you are here today on a charge of driving on a suspended license. It's a warrant that was issued out of, looks like Eloy. There is a $960 bond on that warrant. Looks like it's been out for a couple of years now. If I release you today, Mr. Cameron, will you promise to go to Eloy on the court date that I give you so you can get this taken care of?
I thought it was in Coolidge, not Eloy.
My information, it does say, so it's Central Eloy JP Court, and it is in Coolidge. You're correct. That's where the address is.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there. That's my problem, is getting there.
Okay, so I tell you what, when you get released today, I am going to release you. Call them to see whether or not they have the ability to let you appear remotely. We're going to talk about the transition center in a minute, and they may be able to assist you with getting your court date set up, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so I am going to release you on your promise to appear on this warrant. Make sure you are not driving without a valid license. That's going to be your condition of release. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Right.
You're not.
Okay. Your next court date is going to be May 13th at 9 o'clock. And that's going to be at that Central Eloy Courthouse in Coolidge. You are going to have to appear or make arrangements for that court date. If you don't show up, they're going to issue another warrant. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. When you get released today, if you follow the blue line, you're going to get the piece of paper that's going to have the address for that Central Eloy Courthouse on it, as well as the date and time I gave you. So you don't have to memorize that. Take that piece of paper and follow the blue line that's going to be on the ground right outside when you get released. If you follow that blue line, it'll take you to the transition center. It's a big white trailer with a big blue sign on it that says transition center on it. If you go inside, they are going to have people there that can very likely assist you with getting this court date set up. They have navigators there. They provide a number of services for people, or connect. I guess they don't actually provide, but they connect you with services in the community, and they may be able to help ensure that you can get this court appearance taken care of. All right?
Yep.
All right. You're all done for today.
Right. Was there anything? I was around for thank you. You're fine. Thank you. Just know we're going to do what you're right now. You think I can first tell? I was like, there's nothing about breaking right there. I started to have Bolton, I have Navarro. So I should begin to like the Gene, Megan, Upton, Lopez, Lee, I'm just saying Navarro. And over there, with Alonso Navarro.
Are we missing Mr. Fulton?
No, he's here, Your Honor. We're just getting everybody in order. They decided to kind of move around a little bit. Have a seat right here, man.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Brandon Lee Fulton.
Mr. Fulton, you are here today on misdemeanor charges of domestic violence, failing to comply with the court order, disorderly conduct, and criminal damage. You do have the right to remain silent on these charges. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We're here to talk about your conditions of release today. I've had the opportunity to review some information that's been provided by pretrial services. That information tells me a little bit about you and the circumstances of the offense. If I release you today, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in justice court?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
And I'm going to give you some additional conditions of release that are going to involve committing no further acts of domestic violence. You're not going to be allowed to have any contact with Mr. Barnes, who's listed as the victim in this case. And you're not going to be allowed to return to the incident location. Do you have somewhere else you can reside?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. Are you going to be able to abide by those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
You need to return to, hang on.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need to return to the incident location to get any of your belongings?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So what I'm going to do is on your conditions of release form, which you're going to get when you get released later today, I've checked a box that says you may return with a police escort to pick up your belongings. So make sure you have that piece of paper with you and either call 911 or go to a nearby law enforcement agency and show them that order. They will accompany you to that location so that you can get your belongings. You are not to go by yourself, and don't go and sit outside the residence and just stay there and wait for law enforcement. Meet them down the street at a Circle K or some other place that is not right at the house. Do you understand those conditions? Right. Was there something else that you wanted to ask me, or is that what you wanted to ask?
Sure.
Okay. Your next court date is going to be May 12th at 10:30. That's going to be at Pima County Justice Court. Again, your paperwork's going to have that date, time, and also the location and phone number for where you need to be. You do have to appear at that date and time. If you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand all of that, Mr. Fulton?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there.
All right, you're all done for today.
Bye.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Melissa Navarro.
Mr. Navarro, you are here today on a charge of domestic violence assault. It is a misdemeanor offense. It will be handled out of Pima County Justice Court. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say kind of will be used against you. I will let you know that the victim is present in court today. I know you can't see her, but she is sitting here and can see you on the screen. I've had an opportunity to review information that was provided by pretrial services in this case. That information tells me a little bit about you as well as the circumstances of the offense. I also have considered the Form 4C that was provided by law enforcement. That's the intimate partner risk assessment when considering conditions of release. It does appear that Salma is okay to have you return home and have contact.
Okay.
So I'm going to allow that. So your condition of release is that you not commit any further acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that condition of release?
Yes, ma'am.
And if I release you today, will you promise to go to the court date that I'm about to give you?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. I will release you on your promise to appear your next May 12th at 10:30 at Pima County Justice Court. That's the building I'm in, so someone will know exactly where it is. But you're going to need to appear here at that date and time. And if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're all done for today. Is there anything else you wanted to let the court know, ma'am? Okay. She's going to be there to pick you up, sir.
Okay.
All right. You're
Okay.
all done. You too.
Go.
Hi, tell me your name.
Daniel Jose Salinas.
Mr. Salinas, you were here today on a warrant out of Sarita Municipal Court involving DV criminal damage. That warrant does list a $2,000 bond on it. This is the time for your initial appearance on that charge. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say kind of will be used against you. Looks like the offense date for this was back in 2016, but the warrant issued recently in February of 2025. Are you familiar with this matter, Mr. Salinas?
Yes.
All right. Well, the judge has indicated that they do want a $2,000 cash or secured bond on this. So I am going to honor the amount that's on that warrant. So $2,000 cash or secured bond. Your next court date at Sarita, if you remain in custody, is going to be May 6th at 3:00. And that's going to be a video review hearing, much like you're doing here today. If you end up posting the bond that I've imposed today that was requested on that warrant, then your hearing is going to be May 20th at 8:30, and you will be required to go to Sarita Municipal Court for that hearing. You are not to commit any further acts of domestic violence. Do you understand all of those conditions of release that I've imposed?
Yes.
If you post that bond and you fail to appear for that hearing on May 20th, they could issue another warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that? Mr. Salinas?
Yes.
Okay, you're all done for today. Mm-hmm. The who? Oh, all right. Let's appoint. Give me just one moment, ma'am.
Not often. Oh.
I don't have this. Yeah, it's not. I've got the city court one. Oh, it's on the back of the city court one. All right. So we're gonna point Dan Fitzgerald for that matter. Can you plug him in for me, Kim? Perfect. Thank you. Hi, tell me your name. Ma'am, tell me your name.
I'm sorry, Anna Fagan.
All right, Ms. Fagan, you are here today on charges out of Tucson City Court involving domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and domestic violence criminal damage. You do have the right to remain silent on those charges. Anything you say can and will be used against you. This is also the time for your arraignment on those charges. You are presumed innocent. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf today. We're here to talk about your conditions of release. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. It tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. Looks like the victim in this case is Mr. Forrester, and he does want continuing contact with you. So if I release you today, will you promise to appear at a court date that I give you in the future in city court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And then the condition of release is that you're not going to be allowed to commit any acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. So you're going to be released on your promise to appear today. Your next court date is going to be May 27th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's going to be at Tucson City Court. You do have to appear at that date and time. When you get released later today, you're going to get a copy of your paperwork. It'll have the court date and time and also the address for city court where you need to be. If you do fail to appear for that hearing, a warrant could issue for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing in your absence and set future hearings in your absence, including a trial. If you get convicted at that trial and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you could also lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand all of those consequences if you fail to appear?
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
All right, you're all done for today, Ms. Fagan.
Thank you so much.
Offense. All left, right hands are released.
Female side. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
William Huffman.
Mr. Huffman, you are here on multiple matters out of Tucson City Court. There are multiple failures to appear and warrants that have been issued for you on charges of criminal trespass, drug paraphernalia, multiple counts actually of criminal trespass, and then being in parks after hours. Based on the information the court has today, and we're here to talk about your conditions of release, I'm going to impose a bond today, Mr. Huffman, in the amount of $500. That is going to be a cash bond. If you do not post that bond, your next court date is going to be May 9th at 1:45. That's going to be a video review hearing. If you remain in custody, the jail will make sure that you appear for that hearing. I am going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you, and I would expect between now and that May 9th hearing, you're going to hear from someone from the public defender's office. If you do post that $500 cash bond, you are not allowed to return to any of the incident locations where these criminal trespasses have occurred. If you do return there, they're going to end up arresting you for that again. Do you understand all of those conditions of release, Mr. Huffman?
Yes, ma'am.
If you do get released and post that bond, your next court date is actually going to be June 2nd at 9:30. And that's going to be in front of Judge Maldonado. If you post your bond, the jail's going to give you a copy of your paperwork that has the court dates on it that I just gave you, as well as the conditions of release that you're expected to follow. Do you understand all of those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
If you do,
We won't be able to post the bond.
okay, well then the jail will make sure you appear for that video review hearing on May 9th. And again, someone from the public defender's office should be out to contact you. And then you'll see Judge Maldonado and she'll be able to address all of this with you. I do need to tell you though, Mr. Huffman, if for some reason you do post that bond and you don't show up, they're going to issue more warrants for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. We need to see your doctor. I've been attacked by a pit bull and my arm is all messed up. I haven't seen any doctor yet.
Okay, make sure that the jail has that information. I'm sure that they'll get you the medical attention. You're all done for today, Mr. Huffman.
Thank you.
Sarah Lopez.
Hi, tell me your full name.
Sarah Lopez.
And jailer, are you showing a hold from another jurisdiction out of Maricopa County for Ms. Lopez?
We are not, Your Honor, but let me double check with our court secretary.
Okay. Pretrial services did indicate that she was being held somewhere else. It does look like there's a Maricopa County warrant.
Correct, Your Honor. They do see it now.
Okay. So Ms. Lopez, you were here on charges out of Tucson City Court that involve criminal trespass, criminal damage, and possession of prescription drugs. This is the time for your initial appearance where we're going to discuss conditions of release. This is also the time for your arraignment on these charges. You are presumed innocent. Anything that you say can and will be used against you. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas for these 3 charges on your behalf. It does look like you have a hold out of Maricopa County for a warrant up there. And that's what the jail told me. So no matter what I do on this case, you're going to be held until Maricopa comes to get you on that warrant or you satisfy the conditions of the warrant. I don't know what those are because I don't have that information today. Do you understand all of that, Ms. Lopez?
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do for the city court charges today is release you and give you a court date in the future. Because you're being held in custody, I'm going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. If you get the Maricopa matter resolved and you get released, you're not to return to the incident location wherever that criminal trespass and criminal damage occurred. There are victims there and you can't go back there. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So your next court date at Tucson City Court is going to be June 20th at 9 a.m. That should give you time to get the Maricopa matter resolved and have someone from the city public defender's office get in touch with you. If you do fail to appear on June 20th because you're released, if for some reason you're still at the Pima County Jail, I don't expect that, then they will make sure you appear for your hearing. But you should be out by then unless Maricopa is holding you for some reason. But you have to appear for that hearing on June 20th. They could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing in your absence and set future hearings in your absence if you fail to appear. If future hearings get set, that could include a trial. If you get convicted at trial and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you'll also lose your right to an appeal. Do you understand all of those consequences for failing to appear, Ms. Lopez?
Yeah.
All right, you're all done for today.
Wait, so will I be held here because of the Maricopa situation?
So you're going to be held there until Maricopa County comes to get you. So what'll happen is the jail will essentially let Maricopa know that you've been released on the misdemeanor city court matters today. And then I don't know what the conditions on the warrant are, if there's a bond or what's going on, but either Maricopa County will be told to come get you probably within the next 1 to 3 days. And then you'll be transported up there. So hopefully someone from the city public defender's office here will be in touch with you so that you can try to figure out how to get the city case resolved before you go. That may not happen. That's why you have that June 20th date. So you'll have to get back down here or be in contact with the city public defenders to get that resolved.
I thought I was on probation here in Tucson. Like they transferred my probation here to Tucson. So
that the matter originated in Maricopa County. So if you're on probation, even though it was transferred here, the people that are concerned about whatever is happening with your probation still originate in Maricopa County. So your case is not going to be heard here, even though your probation officer is here.
Okay.
Okay? Since your case originated in Maricopa, that's where you're going to have to go back to if you violated conditions of your probation.
Okay.
All right?
I can't be like released today and then like I go to Maricopa on my own. Like
It looks like Maricopa has that hold, so that is completely up to Maricopa County. I don't have anything to do with that. Jail, are you showing any kind of, is it a probation hold out of Maricopa?
It is, Your Honor. And they're showing no bond.
Yeah, so it looks like they have you in violation of your probation. So you're going to be held. You're not going to be able to post any kind of bond. I don't know if your probation officer, if you're being supervised here, you could try to reach out to your probation officer to see if they can do anything to assist you. They may also be in contact with you, but short of that, I would anticipate Maricopa coming to pick you up and taking you up there to deal with the probation matter.
okay.
All right, you're all done for today, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hi, sir, tell me your name.
I'm McLean.
Mr. McLee, you are here today on charges of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and domestic violence assault. These are misdemeanor offenses. You didn't on these charges, anything you say can and will be used against you. This is the time for your initial appearance where we're going to talk about conditions of release. This is also your time for the arraignment on these matters. You are presumed innocent. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf for both of these charges. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. If I release you today on this case, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes, ma'am.
The other condition that you're going to have today is that you are not going to be allowed to have any contact with Stacy Miller.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not going to be allowed to return to anywhere that she is living or working or the incident location. Do you have somewhere else that you can stay? Do you reside somewhere else?
Need to locate. That's a good work stuff.
Okay. So what I am going to do is check a box on the conditions of release form that allows you to return one time with law enforcement to get those items. So for now, and until your next court hearing or until something changes, you are not allowed to have any contact with Miss Miller. You understand all of those conditions?
Yes, ma'am. But we have kids together, so we'll have a second.
Oh. Yeah, so you can't have any contact with her. Do you have other family members here in town?
Yep.
Okay, so I mean, another family member could contact her for purposes of figuring out what you all want to do with the kids, but do not talk about this case. Do not get into anything having to do with what happened here. That is not the purpose of the contact. The purpose of the contact is for the children only. Right? And at some point, Ms. Miller may contact the, city prosecutor's office and figure out what they want to do with this. But until the next court date that I give you, you're going to have to abide by these orders.
Okay.
Right? So I'm going to release you on your promise to appear. As I've said, no contact at this time with Stacy Miller. Don't go to anywhere where she is living or working, just the incident location. I have indicated you can return one time with law enforcement to collect your belongings. When you get released today, you're going to get a copy of this piece of paper and it's going to have all the release conditions on it. You're going to need to contact law enforcement, either call 911 or go to a nearby substation for the law enforcement agency closest to you, and then let them know that you need to go collect your belongings so that they can go with you. Please do not sit outside the residence on your cell phone and wait for them to get there. You need to be down the street or away from the location and only go back with them with you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date is going to be May 27th at 1:30. That's going to be at Tucson City Court in front of Judge Millian. If you fail to appear for that hearing, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing in your absence and set future hearings, including a trial. If you get convicted at that trial and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you'd also give up your right to any direct appeal. Do you understand all of those consequences if you fail to appear for your hearing?
Yes.
All right. Any other questions today?
No more.
Great, you're all done.
Immediately, you're up. Ready? Gotcha.
All right, so tell me your name.
Mr.
Muse, you're here today on multiple warrants out of Tucson City Court for drug paraphernalia charges, reckless burning, criminal trespass charges, possession of drug paraphernalia, and shoplifting charges. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We're here to talk about your conditions of release on all of these cases. I am going to impose a bond today, sir, in the amount of $1,000. That is going to be a cash bond. I'm going to appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next hearing in this case is going to be a video review hearing on May 9th at 1:45 with Judge Mayhew. If you do not post that bond, you'll remain in custody and they'll have you see Judge Mayhew, much like you're doing here today on video. If you post that $1,000 bond, there's going to be a different court date on your paperwork when you get released, and that's going to be June 3rd at 9:30. Do you understand the conditions that I've imposed today? If you answered me, I didn't hear you because there was radio noise. Okay. Do you understand that if you fail to appear for your hearings, if you do bond out, that they can issue another warrant for your arrest? You're all done for today.
No.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Matthew, last name is Sheridan.
Mr. Sheriff, you are here today on a charge of interfering with a judicial proceeding. It is a domestic violence offense. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I've had the opportunity to review some information prepared by pretrial services. They tell me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. Also had an opportunity to review some input from the victim in this case as well, who is your spouse.
Correct.
If I release you today, will you promise to show up at a court date at city court that I give you in the future?
Oh yeah. That'll be great. So my question was, we were together in the house, and then I was told to get my stuff out, and the sheriff just showed up at my house. Say I have a restraining order. I have no clue that I have a restraining order whilst we're living together.
So,
I have.
Mr. Sheriff, here's the other part of this. There is an active order of protection that says,
That's correct.
yep, you're not allowed to have any contact with your spouse. So if I release you today, that is going to be the continuing order on this charge as well. You are not allowed to have any contact with your spouse. You cannot go back to the house. You can't go back to where she's living or have any contact with her. A judge may be able to change that in the future, but that is not going to happen today.
Thank you.
Do you have
Same way.
hang on. Do you have somewhere else that you can reside?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of this. Yes.
Okay. Do you need to return for any reason to get any of your belongings from where she is living?
That's what I was doing to get my stuff out when the cop showed up to say I have a restraining order.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. You're going to be allowed to return one time with the police to get your belongings. Okay.
Right.
So when you get released later today, you're going to get a copy of your paperwork. It's an appearance order with release conditions. It'll have all the conditions we talked about as well as the order protection number. And there'll be a box check that says you can return with law enforcement. You need to take this form to a nearby law enforcement substation or call 911. not from in front of the house, but a location down the street or somewhere else, and have them meet you and then go to the residence with police so that you can get your belongings. Do you understand that process? And will you agree to abide by that process if I release you? All right. I will release you on your promise to appear. We've talked about all of those conditions of release. Your next court hearing is going to be May 27th at 1:30 in the afternoon, and that's going to be in front of Judge Million at Tucson City Court. And again, that information is all going to be documented on the paperwork that you get. This is also the time for your arraignment on this charge. You are presumed innocent. I'm entering a not guilty plea on your behalf. If you fail to show up for that hearing on May 27th, they could issue for a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing in your absence and set future hearings, including a trial. If a trial gets set in your absence and you get convicted and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you can also lose your right to appeal that conviction. Do you understand all of those consequences if you don't show up for court?
Right.
All right, you're all done. You are all done for today.
Yes.
Oh, that's why it threw me through a loop. What's happening? Thank you. Okay, sir, tell me your name. Mr. Leone, you are here today on a warrant out of Pima County Superior Court for charges involving aggravated domestic violence, 3 counts, child abuse, death, or serious injury unlikely. So that's a class 4 felony, and then 2 counts of aggravated harassment. Who do we have from the public defender's office this morning?
Good morning. Here.
Oh, hi, Miss Leon Enriquez. You're hiding from me. I can't see you on camera. That's all right. All I could see was a shoulder. I could not identify that.
You'll see the gray hair here.
Mr. Leone, this is the time for your initial appearance on this warrant. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I will note that the bond amount on the warrant for this case is a $35,000 bond. The state is also asking for that bond based on the warrant. That is the court's inclination today, given the information that I have. Ms. Orozco, did you need to be heard further on conditions?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Leon Enriquez?
Your Honor, in this case, we'd be asking for either release to pretrial services or a much lower bond. Mr. Leon has no prior felony convictions. This was I believe he wasn't arrested before on this case, which is from January 19th of 24, which is almost a year and a half. I don't believe, from what I've seen, that he has any new charges in the case. His mother indicated to pretrial services that she was willing to assume third-party custody. I understand he is fully employed and has been a lifelong resident here in Tucson.
I am going to impose the bond that is listed on the warrant today's date. So that is going to be a $35,000 cash or secured bond. That is what was requested at the time. And that's what the court's going to honor today. Mr. Leone, if you do post that $35,000 cash or secured bond, then you're going to be released to pretrial services. If you get released to that agency, you have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any guns. You're also not allowed to return to the incident location or have contact with the victims. I don't know what your living situation is, but if that poses a problem for you, you're going to have to find an alternative place to live if you post bond, unless and until a court changes that order. Do you understand all those conditions of release?
Yes.
All right. You'll also have someone from the public defender's office, I'm sure, that will be out to talk with you. Your next court date is going to be an arraignment. That arraignment takes place on May 8th at 1:30. If you're still in custody, you're going to appear via video, much like you're doing here today for that hearing. If you post bond and you get released, it's going to be your responsibility to show up on the 3rd floor of Pima County Superior Court on May 8th at 1:30 for that hearing. If you fail to appear for that hearing, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're all done for today, Mr. Leon.
I'm set.
Ms. Coleman, are you present?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Mr. Coleman's case should be next.
Thank you.
In the middle, all the way down to first seat. Yes, ma'am. I mean, I hope it's in the morning.
Okay, sir. Mr. Coleman. Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me your full name.
Brady Scott Coleman.
Right. Sir, you are here today for an initial appearance on charges involving domestic violence, aggravated assault using a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. You do
Yes, ma'am.
have the right to remain silent on that charge. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right. I'm going to go through a whole little spiel here, so I'm just going to ask you to listen, and then I'll ask you whether you understand all of those things, okay? All right. You do have the right to an attorney on this public defender's office to represent you, and you have an attorney who's seated with you for purposes of these proceedings. We're here to talk about your conditions of release on this matter. The victim on this case, Ms. Coleman, is also present on the line. She does have the opportunity to provide input to the court with respect to conditions of release. I've had an opportunity to review what pretrial services has prepared for the court. They provide a little information about you as well as the circumstances of the offense, and that's what the court has considered. Ms. Coleman, I did see the information that you provided to them indicating that you did not wish to have further contact at this time with Mr. Coleman and that he was not welcome to return home. Was there anything else that you wanted to add? Only with respect to conditions of release, we're not talking about the charges today.
Yes, Your Honor. My husband himself is also a victim of his own mental health, and I am just advocating for a petition for a mental health evaluation. My husband is kind and loving. I do not wish to be separated, and this is very hard. I just need him to get help so that he can come back to his children and for me. So I'm just kindly respecting his wishes right now for us to be apart and the help that he needs, but I need the court to help us to see, because he will not do it on his own. And I've been living in what can only be described as a confusing hell. He is confused with who he is, and he sleeps 1 to 3 hours a night. And my husband is not in my home. And so I'm just please begging the court, please consider strongly urging or mandating Mr. Coleman to please get a mental health evaluation so that reunification and visitation can take place and we can still remain a family. That is all that I'm requesting.
So, Ms. Coleman, for today, I can give you some information about who you can contact, but the only thing I can do today is impose conditions of release. So that's what I will be doing today. If you've not already been contacted by someone from the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office, you can contact them and provide them the information that you gave the court along with your concerns. People from the jail are also listening. They have heard the concerns that you have as well. And if you also have concerns, I know you can work with the CRC, the Community Response Center here, and file a petition asking that he be evaluated. So those are going to be some options for you to consider going forward. But today I won't be in a position of ordering any kind of mental health evaluation. Mr. Coleman is sitting here and he is able to hear everything that is being said as well. he also has an attorney on this criminal case, which would be an entirely separate matter from anything that may occur with respect to any kind of mental health evaluation.
Your Honor, could Mr. Coleman, could he request himself to undergo a mental health evaluation?
Yes,
Could you consider that?
he can, and that will be up to him. Okay, and if if the people at the jail have any other independent reasons or reasons, they can also, make some inquiries, but they're going to have a separate process to do that, not just the information you're providing today. Okay. All right. So in light of all the information that the court has today, my inclination was to impose a bond in the amount of $25,000 cash or secured and released to pretrial. Ms. Orozco, does the state, I know that was what you had requested in your release conditions. Is there anything you wanted to add?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
And perhaps you could maybe let the, Victim Services Division know, and perhaps we could have an advocate reach out to Ms. Coleman later today as well. That might be helpful to her. Ms. Coleman, would you like to have contact with a victim advocate?
Yes.
Okay. We'll see if Ms. Orozco can help facilitate that process and get someone to contact you today. All right, Ms. Leon Enriquez, your turn with respect to conditions of release, please, ma'am.
Your Honor, in this case, I had been looking at requesting a much lower bond, if not released to pretrial services. Mr. Coleman doesn't have any criminal history. It doesn't look like it's either felony or misdemeanor in this case. It wasn't a gun that was used as the deadly weapon. It was a bottle that was thrown. As indicated by the victim in the case, if there's mental health issues, I don't think those are best addressed here at the jail. Mr. Coleman did indicate to me right now that he did have an evaluation done here at the jail.
All right. So I am going to impose a bond today, Mr. Coleman. That's a $25,000 cash or secured bond. If you post that bond, then you're going to be released to pretrial services. That's an agency with the court. You will be required to check in with them whenever they ask you to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You are not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol, obviously no illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on. You are also not to commit any further acts of domestic violence. At this time, the court is ordering that you not have any contact with Ms. Coleman. That means that if you do postpone and get released, you're not going to be allowed to return to the home or where the incident occurred in this case or where she is living or working. That can change in the future, but that's not going to change right now. Do you understand all of those conditions of release?
I don't know.
If you were to post that bond, do you have somewhere else you can go and stay?
Just the bond there.
Okay. I am going to set an addition, the hearing in this case, your next hearing is going to be May 12th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's going to be a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not occur, but you're going to be responsible for showing up at all future court dates. And if you fail to appear for those court dates, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You'll very likely have someone, whoever is assigned to represent you at the public defender's office, contact you prior to that date. If you do remain in custody, the jail will have you appear for your next court date. If you do post bond and get released, it's going to be your responsibility to stay in contact with your attorney in case that court date changes. If you fail to appear for court dates in the future, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you don't show up for court, Mr. Coleman?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. That's all for today. Thank you, everyone.
Your Honor. Your Honor. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to advocate on behalf of my husband, Brady Coleman. If we are able to lower the bond amount, and if my husband, he has his sister, Dana Huerta, and if he is willing to, if we can lower the bond amount to let him out, and he's willing to enter into a mental health program with his sisters and his mother's guidance, could we agree to do that today?
So I can't get him, there's, all I can do is impose conditions of release, and I can't make Mr. Coleman do something today. What I have to consider is the circumstances of the offense and all of the information that I'm being provided. So he has an attorney that can always file a motion to modify his conditions of release in the future. So that is something that can be filed if there are arrangements that can be made. But today, this is going to be the bond amount that we have. And I'm just not in a position of being able to barter with Mr. Coleman. He needs to get advice from his attorney as well on how to proceed. All I can consider today is the criminal matter. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we're all done. Mr. Coleman, you're all done for today, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. On the set for 10 seconds.
Hi, tell me your name.
Rashawn Ingram.
Mr. Ingram, you are here today on charges of possession of a narcotic drug. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this matter. It is a felony. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. It does look like you're on probation. Jail, are you showing a hold at this time?
We are not, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Ingram, based on the nature of this offense, you may be eligible to participate in a substance abuse treatment court. It's a pre-indictment diversion program. If you qualify and you agree to participate in substance abuse treatment, then the state would not go forward with these charges. Is that something that you're interested in doing?
It is, but may I add something? I have. Can you tell me? Yes, just do it. So, over the place, marijuana disposal. So, there's three really have a better board. So, I was able to say, I was able to ask it because it was just whenever we got allowed, I think it was legally allowed to have it because I got no for that signed on the computer. So you don't need to know that. Okay.
Ms. Leon Enriquez, is there anything that needs to be said at this point?
Your Honor, Mr. Ingram is challenging the probable cause in this case, given the fact that he had a medical marijuana card at the time and was within the limits that he could possess.
So the issue for the court today is releasing Mr. Ingram and whether or not he wants to participate in substance abuse treatment, and I'll give him the steps hearing date. So, Mr.
I'm medically licensed. I've even sat here this whole time. I've had it too. The weed's opposite that I have a 1-year-old son at home. I'm prescribed the marijuana, but it's not necessary. I got 100% look through the class. I'll never smoke weed again if this is what it runs.
So, Mr. Ingram, what we're going to do is, and the state is also recommending release to pretrial. So your attorney will still have the ability to challenge the probable cause for the proceedings. Based on the information I have today, there is probable cause. It doesn't mean charges will be filed again. Your attorney can deal with that, but I'm going to release you. And so even if I were not to have found probable cause, the remedy for me is release. I can't just dismiss charges. So today, you're going to be released to pretrial services. I'm going to give you a couple different court dates. The first one is going to be May 8th at 9 o'clock in the morning. And that's going to be the hearing for that pre-indictment diversion program. You'll need to go see Judge Hampson on the 3rd floor of Pima County Superior Court on that day and time. Your attorney from the public defender's office will be there. Pretrial services will be there. And then you'll also have community providers that handle substance abuse treatment that will be there that you can connect with as well if that's information that you're eligible for and you want to participate in. You are going to be released, as I've said, to pretrial. That means you have to stay in contact with that agency. They need to know where you're living, a good phone number to contact you. You'll be participating in any monitoring or treatment they direct. That'll be directly related to this STEPS program, the pre-indictment diversion. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. You can't have any firearms while this case is going on. And when you get released today, you need to contact your probation officer to let them know what's going on so you don't find yourself in trouble with that as well. Do you understand all of those conditions of release?
Yes, sir.
Right. Given what's going on, Ms. Leon Enriquez, are you willing to waive time for the preliminary hearing to see if he's eligible for steps?
Since he's released, yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Ingham, normally the state would have 20 days to file the charges if they were going to. But since we're going to see if you're eligible to participate in the STEPS program, again, you can challenge whatever you want to in the future. But we're going to give the state 45 days. So the hearing after the one next week is going to be June 16th at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not happen. A lot of that's going to hinge on what happens next week at your hearing. But you're going to be responsible for showing up at all future court dates. If you fail to appear for court dates where you're required to be there, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes, I'll be there, Your Honor.
All right. So you'll be released later today. Make sure you stay in contact with your attorney in pretrial. You're all done.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to go directly. Thank you. Thank you so much. Goodman? The reason why I'm on probation, all we have to.
Hi, sir.
Hello,
Hi. Tell me your name.
Roy Goodman.
Is your middle name Alan?
Yes, ma'am.
Where you are here today on charges of possession of a narcotic drug, possession of a narcotic drug for sale, and being a prohibited possessor. You do have the right to remain silent on these charges. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have an attorney seated with you for purposes of the proceedings here today. We're here to talk about your conditions of release on these charges. I've had the opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. That report tells me a little bit about you as well as the circumstances of the offense. It also is telling me that probation has placed a hold on you at this time. So that means regardless of what I do for conditions of release on these new charges, you're going to be held until your probation matter can be handled. Do you understand that, Mr. Goodman?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I have reviewed the state's recommendation. They're asking for a $10,000 bond. My inclination today is a $5,000 cash or secured bond released to pretrial if he posts that bond. Ms. Orozco, did you need to be heard further?
Your Honor, the recommendation is based largely on the nature of the probation offense and the extensive criminal history. Thank you.
Ms. Leon Enriquez?
Your Honor, we were asking for a nominal bond. There's a probation hold, so there's not really a need to impose a large bond in this case. He's not going anywhere.
Yes, pretty much.
Mr. Goodman, I am going to impose a $5,000 cash or secured bond on these underlying charges. So you'll obviously be in contact with your attorney. They'll be handling your probation matter as well as this new matter. If you do post that bond and you get your probation matter resolved, then you can be released to pretrial services on this case. You have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You can't have any firearms while the case is going on. You're not allowed to have any of those anyway. And you're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you understand all those conditions of release?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Your next court date is going to be May 12th at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not occur, but you're expected to show up at all future hearings. And if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. If you remain in custody, the jail will make sure that you get transported for your next court hearing. But if you get released, it's important you stay in contact with your attorney so you don't miss court. Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear for your hearing?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, you're all done for today, Mr. Goodman.
Thank you. God bless you. Lisa Hansen.
Hi, ma'am. Tell me your name.
Lisa Hansen.
Ms. Hanson, you are here on a warrant out of Pima County Superior Court for charges of conspiracy, illegally conducting a criminal enterprise, theft of means of transportation, trafficking and stolen property. It's like there's 2 counts each of the trafficking and theft of means of transportation. The warrant for your arrest does list a $25,000 cash or secured bond based on your failure to appear at arraignment. This is the time for your initial appearance on these charges and the warrant. You do have the right to remain silent. Ma'am, I want you to just listen to me for just a minute and I'll give you a chance to talk to your attorney, okay? All right. You do have the right to remain silent on these charges. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. These are all felony matters. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have an attorney seated with you for purposes of the proceedings here today. I've reviewed some information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report for the court that tells me a little bit about you as well as the circumstances of the offense. The state, who's represented by Ms. Orozco here today on video, also have a chance to request bonds and conditions of release. They're requesting the $25,000 that's on the bond. Ms. Orozco, did you need to be heard further?
No, thank you.
All right, Ms. Leon Enriquez, if you need time to talk with Ms. Hanson, and then I'll get your input, please.
Thank you.
I was in prison. Didn't even know that I had a case in this county. I was in prison, got released from prison. I didn't even know I had a court date. Like, I wouldn't have missed the court date. But I can't afford that. But
Your Honor, the jail is not muted. I can hear what's going on.
Okay, I mean, Ms. Leon Enriquez can decide to mute or not mute as she sees fit, but thank you.
Okay, Your Honor.
I literally
Ms. Leon Enriquez?
was in prison. I didn't even know I had.
Your Honor, in this case, we're asking for a lower bond. This is a summons case where Miss Hanson indicates that she was in custody at the time of the hearing, so that's the reason she didn't appear. My understanding is that her sister was also willing to assume third-party custody, and also with regards to her priors, I believe these are 9 years and older in this case.
The 8 years since I literally got out last year. I didn't even know I had a court date or a court case going on to come to court, or I would have went to court or not appeared at a court.
So I'm looking at the criminal history information. It looks like there was a parole date of January 27th, 2023 for a Navajo County case. And the sentence ended January 18th of 2024. Looks like the warrant in this case was issued January 14th of 2025. So, Ms. Hanson, today I am going to impose the bond amount listed on the warrant. Your attorney can file a motion to modify conditions of release in the future if you're able to provide some more information beyond what the court has today. That is a cash or secured bond. If you post the bond, you're going to be released to pretrial services. You'll be ordered to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. You can't have any firearms while this case is going on. You can't have any contact with the victims on those theft charges or return to the incident location. Do you understand all of those conditions of release?
Yeah.
Your next court date is going to be May 8th at 1:30. That's going to be your arraignment. If you do not post bond and remain in custody, the jail will make sure to have you appear via video, much like you're doing here today for that hearing. If you do post bond and you get released, you are responsible for showing up at that date and time, 3rd floor of Pima County Superior Court. If you do fail to appear, they can issue another warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yeah.
We're all done for today.
And so, how much of that thing that we get out? 100%.
They're out of us.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Reverend Robert Helms.
Mr. Helms, you were here today on 2 warrants out of Pima County Superior Court for failing to appear. One of the cases involves a narcotic drug violation and also drug paraphernalia. The other case involves a dangerous drug and drug paraphernalia. This is the time for your initial appearance on those 2 warrants. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this matter. Today, I'm going to appoint this public defender's office to represent you. And you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. Tells me a little bit about you as well as the circumstances of the offense. Looks like the state is requesting the $750 secured appearance bond that is on both of the warrants in this case. Mr. Roscoe, I did notice that you on one of them did request a $25,000 bond, but that's not what's listed on the warrant that the court sees. They're both $750.
Then that was a mistake on my part. I will, let me pull it up right now just to make sure.
I'll just on my copy change it to the 750 unless you tell me something differently. It also looks like, Mr. Helms, that you are released to pretrial on another STEPS case. Are you participating in STEPS at all right now?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Yes, Your Honor, that was an error on my part. I must have, sorry.
Okay. All right. The court is inclined to impose the $750 cash or secured bond today and release to pretrial. It'll be a concurrent bond on both charges since they're in the same procedural posture. Ms. Leon Enriquez, did you want to be heard?
Your Honor, I was going to be asking for that amount, just given the nature of the offenses, the simple possession, nonviolent.
All right. So, Mr. Helms, I am going to impose the bond today. It's going to be $750. That's a cash or secured bond, and that's going to be concurrent. So that bond will apply to both cases. If you do post the bond, then you're going to get released to pretrial services. If you get released to pretrial, you have to maintain contact with that agency, participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any guns while this case is going on, either one of these cases. Do you understand all of those conditions of release?
Yeah.
Your next court date is going to be May 8th at 1:30. That's the arraignment for both of your matters. You do have to appear at that date and time. If you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. If you're still in custody, the jail's going to make sure that you appear via video for that arraignment, just like you're doing here today. But if you post bond and get released, you need to make sure that you show up for that hearing. All right, Mr. Helms?
Yeah.
If you don't appear, they're going to issue another warrant for your arrest. If you do post this bond and you get released, I would encourage you to go to the transition center upon release from the jail. When you get released, there's going to be a blue line on the ground. If you follow that blue line, it's going to take you to a white trailer that's on the corner of the jail property with a big blue sign that says Transition Center. They provide assistance and connect you with resources related to substance abuse. And I would encourage you to be able to stop there and talk with them. They provide a number of other services as well, can assist you in getting to court, make sure you get to your court appearances if you get released. Substance use, mental health, all kinds of services they would provide. So if you do post that bond, I'd encourage you to go by there.
All right.
All right, you're all done for today.
Hey, quit doing that. Morales.
Hi, tell me your name.
Shane Morales. Shane Morales.
Mr. Analyst, you are here today on a charge of aggravated DUI. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. This is the time for your initial appearance. We're here to discuss your conditions of release. I've had the opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. It does tell the court a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. I've also had the chance to review the state's recommendation on this case with respect to conditions of release. They're asking for a $25,000 bond. The court's inclination is a $10,000 cash or secured bond. Ms. Orozco, did you want to be heard?
The recommendation is the 3 prior misdemeanor DUI convictions, the high blood alcohol concentration, and the allegation that this was a accident resulting after racing a vehicle. Thank you.
And Ms. Leon Enriquez, I do note that the offenses are, the criminal history is from, I think the last one's from 2012. So that was something that the court factored into its consideration. Did you want to be heard?
Ayana, we would be asking for the lower bond. One, because the priors are so old, over 14 years old. There was mention of the blood alcohol level, but that's through a PBT, which all that shows is that there was alcohol present, not that it was the level indicated. Indicates that there was blood draw, but no results on that.
All right. Mr. Nellis, I am going to impose a bond today in the amount of $10,000. That is going to be a cash or secured bond. If you post that bond, then you're going to be released to pretrial services. You'll be ordered to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. This is an alcohol-related offense. So if you post the bond, you're going to have to participate in alcohol monitoring with that agency. You are not allowed to consume or possess any alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not drive without a valid license, and you're not permitted to have any firearms while this case. Do you understand all of those conditions of release?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date is going to be May 12th at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not occur, but you're going to be expected to show up at all future court dates. And if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. If you remain in custody, the jail will make sure that you appear for your next hearing, either via video or they'll transport you to court. If you do post bond, it is your responsibility to show up at that hearing. And if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear? You're all done for today.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Oscar Ortega.
I have Ortega Guillen. Is that your true name?
It's Oscar Ortega again.
Okay. Middle name of Daniel?
Yeah.
All right. You were here on a couple of different matters today. The first is a warrant out of Pima County Superior Court involving charges of kidnapping, a domestic violence offense, that's a class 2 felony, and ag assault resulting in serious injury and ag assault with a deadly weapon. Those are class 3 felonies, and there's 3 of those charges. The bond amount on that warrant is $25,000. You're also here on charges of possession of a narcotic drug and possession of drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent on all of this. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in these matters. Today, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. The court's had an opportunity to review some information prepared by pretrial services. It's a report that tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. I've also had a chance to review some information by the state and their recommendation as to your conditions of release. The state is asking for the $25,000 bond that is indicated on the warrant out of Pima County Superior Court, and they're asking for a $5,000 bond on the drug charges. I will say the court is inclined to impose the $25,000 bond on the warrant. However, for the drug charges, I'm inclined to impose a $500 bond. And I believe those can be concurrent because it looks like the Pima County Superior Court matter. Nope, they can't be. So that's going to have to be a consecutive bond. Did you want to be heard further, Ms. Orozco?
Thank you.
Ms. Leon Enriquez?
Your Honor, we would be asking for a low bond. Doesn't show that he has any adult criminal history. He does have the juvenile history from 2019, 2020. So 5 years old. So for those reasons, we ask for the lower bond.
All right. So in the matter involving the drug charges, the new charges, I am going to impose a $500 cash or secured bond. If you post bond on that case, sir, you'd be released to pretrial services. You're going to be ordered to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You are not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol, obviously no illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on. Do you understand those conditions of release in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Your next court date in that case, in this case, is going to be May 12th at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not occur, but you're going to be responsible for showing up at all future hearings. And if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand that as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And then we need to talk about your warrant case. On that matter, I am going to impose the $25,000 cash or secure bond that's listed on the warrant. Same thing, if you post that bond, then you're going to be released to pretrial services. You still have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct, no alcohol or drugs, no firearms. This is a domestic violence offense, so you are not to commit any acts of domestic violence. You are not allowed to go near the victim in this case. Court's records indicate that it is Miss Farrell. You are not allowed to have any contact with her. Don't go to the incident location or anywhere near where she is living or working. That no contact order, Mr. Ortega, again, applies to you while you remain in custody. So if you stay there, you're going to be given access to phones, tablets, other things for purposes of communication. And this order of no contact with her applies to you there. Do you understand all of those conditions of release?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and this does have to be a consecutive bond to the one that I just imposed of $500. Your next court date in this case is going to be an arraignment. That arraignment is going to occur on May 8th at 1:30. If you remain in custody, the jail will make sure you appear via video, much like you're doing here today for that hearing. If you do post bond, it's your responsibility to show up, and if you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're all done for today. Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Stephen Allen Powers.
Mr. Powers, you were here on a couple of matters today. The first one is possession of dangerous drugs, possession of a narcotic drug for sale, and possession of drug paraphernalia. These are new felony charges. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services on this case. Tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. We are also here to talk about a city court matter involving drug paraphernalia and your failure to appear on that. I've had an opportunity to also review the state's recommendation as to your conditions of release. They are asking for a $10,000 bond. I am inclined to impose a $2,500 cash or secured bond today on this matter. Ms. Orozco, did you want to be heard further?
Oh, thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Leon Enriquez?
Your Honor, given the court's inclination, we were going to be asking for that.
All right. So, Mr. Powers, on the felony matter today, I'm going to impose a $2,500 cash or secured bond. If you do post that bond, then you would be released to pretrial services. If you post the bond and get released, you have to stay in contact with pretrial services. Participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You are not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you cannot have any firearms while this case is going on. Do you understand all of those conditions of release?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date in that matter is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on May 12th at 1:30. You do have to appear at that date and time. If you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Now, the preliminary hearing may or may not actually go forward. So if you do post bond and get released, it's going to be important that you stay in contact with your attorney so you know when those court dates are. Because if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we now need to talk about your city court case. As I've indicated, you're here on a warrant in that matter for failing to appear for a drug paraphernalia charge. I am going to release you on that matter today, but I'm going to appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you since you're going to be held on the other felony matter at this time. Your next court date is going to be what they call a non-transport review hearing, and that's going to be on June 20th at 9 a.m., and that will be at Tucson City Court. There'll be a courtroom number assigned. When you get released, that information will be on your paperwork. The idea is that someone from the City Public Defender's Office will kind of help watch what's going on with your felony cases. If you get released before that June 20th date, you are required to appear at Tucson City Court at that date and time. If you're still in custody, your attorney will kind of help you navigate that, and they may have you appear via video before. Do you understand all of those conditions on your city court case, Mr. Powers?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, you're all done for today, sir.
It's all this number for the defender's office. Well, to know for the attorneys. So for this.
Yes.
Hi, sir, tell me your name.
Phil Eugene Smith.
Mr. Smith, you were here today on charges of kidnapping and aggravated assault involving impeding the breathing of the victim. The victim is present in the courtroom here today. This is the time for your initial appearance. We're going to talk about your conditions of release. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say kind of will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you today, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing. The court has had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. That tells me a little bit about you as well as the circumstances of the offense. I've also considered the risk assessment that was provided by law enforcement in this matter as well. The state also recommended a $50,000 cash or secured bond in this matter. Ms. Orozco, did you need to be heard, or do you want to hear the victim's input before going forward?
Victim input, please. Thank you.
All right. So, ma'am, tell me your name.
Maria Smith.
Hi, good morning. So it does look like you did not want to have further contact with Mr. Smith, but you did not object to his release. That was the information that pretrial provided me. Was there anything else that you wanted to tell the court today?
Yes, you need to get a behavioral evaluation.
Okay, so I don't know that anyone else could hear her. She asked about getting a behavioral health evaluation. So Ms. Smith, what happens today and what the court can consider is information pertaining just to conditions of release. So while that's not something that I can order today, Mr. Smith is hearing everything that I'm saying for sure. I know you're not in front of a microphone, so he knows that that is a concern that you've raised. The jail does have the ability to have mental health evaluations performed. They either do that on their own based on observations, or Mr. Smith can request to have that done, and they can do that there. He's going to be assisted by the Public Defender's Office, and they can also provide information. I'm going to refer you today to the prosecutor's office. They have a victim services division there. The prosecutor, who we'll hear from next, Ms. Orozco, can ask that a victim advocate contact you. So if you believe that you have information or you want to ask that a behavioral health assessment be done, that is something they can assist you with in terms of a mental health petition. So they can give you some information on how to do that if that's something that you believe you want to go forward with.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I got a couple different yeses. So Ms. Orozco first. Mr. Smith, sit tight for just a second, okay? And for Mrs. Smith, she did indicate that yes, she does want to go forward with that process. Ms. Orozco, conditions of release.
I will contact victim services right away. I will stand by the recommendation based on the high risk in the Form 4C and the risks associated with DV strangulation. Thank you.
Ms. Leon Enriquez?
Your Honor, in this case, we would ask for a much lower bond. Mr. Smith has, it appears to be one prior from 2011. I don't see that he has any DV priors in this case. And also the fact that the victim does not oppose his release. Thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Smith, today, for conditions of release, I am going to impose a $25,000 cash or secured bond. If you post that bond, then you can be released to pretrial services. If you get released to that agency, you have to stay in contact with them, participate in any monitoring or treatment they may require. You're not allowed to have any alcohol or drugs. You may not have any firearms, and you can't commit any acts of domestic violence. At this time, I'm going to order that you and Mrs. Smith Maria not have any contact at this time. So that means that if you post bond, you're not going to be allowed to return home or return to the incident location. That's information. Hang on. That's information that can change in the future, but it's not going to change today or until your next court hearing. You can talk with your attorney about that, but that's going to be what the court orders today. So let me ask you a couple questions. First, Mr. Smith, do you understand all the conditions that I've just talked with you about?
No, I don't.
So not liking them is different than not understanding them.
How long will I be in jail?
Until you post the $25,000 cash or secured bond, or until you have an attorney come talk and determine if they want to file a motion to modify.
I don't have money for an attorney.
You don't. Yeah, you have the woman sitting next to you is an attorney, and you're going to have an attorney appointed to represent you. So you don't have to have the money for that. The other question I had, Mr. Smith, is I know when we were talking about having a behavioral health assessment, I think I heard you say yes. Is that something that you have already done at the jail, or is that something you would like the jail to assist you with? Okay. So the jail is listening. Jail, can we assist Mr. Smith with having a mental health evaluation, please? All right. So that will be done there at the jail. So your next court date, Mr. Smith, in this matter is going to be May 12th at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not happen, but you're going to be expected to show up at all future court dates. If you stay in custody and don't post your bond, the jail will make sure you appear for your next court date. If you post the bond, it's your responsibility to show up. So it's important to stay in contact with your attorney so you don't miss court dates. If you miss a court date, they're going to issue a warrant for you. Do you understand, Mr. Smith? Okay. Mrs. Smith, is there anything else you wanted the court to know today?
Yes, we have four check and bipolar.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Smith?
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm hearing from Mrs. Smith. Hang on.
So it will have this evaluation.
Okay. I will make sure that the indication that Mrs. Smith has just said is that he does have a bipolar disorder. Is he on medications, ma'am? And he does have medications for that. So the jail will have that information as well, and they can make notes for that mental health evaluation. All right. Okay. And then again, the court's order is that the two of you not have any contact. Mr. Smith, that also applies while you're in custody. So you may be given access to phones or other tablets or information forms of communication, but you and Mrs. Smith are not allowed to have any contact right now. That can change. Okay. All right. You're all done for today, Mr. Smith. All right. Call for today, someone from the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office, a victim advocate, should be in touch with you, hopefully later today. So you'll have an opportunity to talk with them, okay? All right, have a good day, ma'am. Hi, sir, tell me your name. Mr. Warren, you are here on a charge of misconduct involving weapons. As a prohibited possessor, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney on this matter. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. That report tells me a little bit about you as well as the circumstances of the offense. I've also had an opportunity to review the state's recommendation as to your conditions of release. They're asking that a $5,000 bond be imposed in this matter. Ms. Orozco, that is the court's inclination. Did you need to be heard further?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Leon Enriquez?
Your Honor, we would be asking for a lower bond. Mr. Warren doesn't have any adult felony priors. I understand he does have the from 2022, which are misdemeanors. He's a lifelong resident. Looks like he was a victim in the case that resulted in these charges.
So, Mr. Warren, at this time, I am going to impose a bond. I will lower it a bit to $2,500, cash or secured. If you do post that bond, then you're going to be released to pretrial services. If you get released to pretrial, you do have to participate in any monitoring or treatment that they direct. You are not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you are not permitted to have any firearms or weapons. If the police did not take the one that you have, you need to surrender it. You're also going to have to surrender any other firearms in your possession if you get released. Your attorney can help with that. I'm also at this time ordering that you have no indirect or direct contact with Elijah Roberts in this case. Do you understand all those conditions of release, Mr. Warren?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Your next court date is going to be May 12th at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not occur, but you're expected to show up at all future court dates. And if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. If you remain in custody, the jail will make sure to transport you to your next hearing or make sure you appear via video like you are today. But if you get released, you have to stay in contact with your attorney so you're aware of court date changes. Do you understand all of that as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're all done for today, Mr. Warren.
Ma'am, I have one thing I know I'm done. Ma'am, I have one thing.
Can you do me personally?
So,
Is at least to your attorney.
never mind, Your Honor. I'm sorry for wasting your time.
You did not waste my time, sir. It's always important to ask questions. That's why you have that attorney sitting with you. You're all done for today, Mr. Warren. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
All right.
All right, thank you. Please be seated. All right, can the interpreter hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, this is the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar from May 1st, 2025.
Bien, este es el calendario de comparecencias iniciales de las 11 de la mañana del 1 de mayo del 2025.
The court's orders for the taking of fingerprints and DNA samples made on the first calendar of the month will also apply to these hearings.
Las órdenes judiciales para la toma de huellas dactilares y muestras de ADN que se giraron en el primer calendario de este mes también van a aplicar a estas audiencias.
May I have Mr. Miguel Garcia, also known as Vladimir Rosario, come to the podium?
Si puede pasar Miguel García alias Vladimir González Rosario, si puede pasar al podio.
Good morning, sir. May I have your full name, please?
Buen día, señor. ¿Me da su nombre completo, por favor?
Henry Vladimir Montaz Rosario.
Mi nombre es Vladimir Montaz Rosario.
What's your date of birth?
¿Cuál es su fecha de nacimiento?
10 de agosto del 96.
August 10th of 96.
Give me one moment.
Deme un momento.
said it was 8/10 of 1996?
Dijo que es 10 de agosto de 1996.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you are here on a warrant in a criminal case for an older offense.
Bien, usted se encuentra aquí debido a una orden de detención por un caso de materia penal. Es un caso más antiguo.
You've been charged with aggravated assault by the impeding of breathing or strangulation in a domestic relationship, which is a Class 4 felony.
A usted se le está imputando una agresión con agravantes por impedir la respiración o estrangulación. Esto es un ilícito de violencia intrafamiliar.
The alleged offense date is September 10th of 2023, and this comes from the Mesa Police Department.
Este presunto ilícito dice que ocurrió el 10 de septiembre del 2023 y viene de parte de un informe del Departamento de Policías de Mesa.
The court is appointing a lawyer to represent you in this case.
Esta juez va a nombrar a un abogado para que le represente en este caso.
Your next court date will be a status conference May 7th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court.
La próxima audiencia judicial va a ser una consulta de actualización el día 7 de mayo a las 8:30 de la mañana en el Tribunal Superior en Downtown.
Your preliminary hearing will be May 9th at 8:30 in the same court.
Su audiencia preliminar va a ser el día 9 de mayo a las 8:30 en el mismo tribunal.
The dates and the court address will be on your paperwork.
La dirección y las fechas van a aparecer en el papeleo que le vamos a entregar.
The court believes that in addition to the risk that a person charged with this crime likely poses to the alleged victim,
esta juez cree que aparte del riesgo que puede presentar una persona imputado con este tipo de ilícito a la persona con la cual se le ha perpetuado,
you pose an extreme risk of failing to appear for future court hearings.
usted también presenta un riesgo extremo de comparecer a sus próximas audiencias judiciales.
This is based on the information the court received regarding your many aliases.
Esta juez está basando en la información que ha recibido acerca de sus muchos alias.
And the fact that you allowed yourself to be you allowed yourself to have this hearing in a different case last night under a different name.
Y el hecho también de que usted permitió a sí mismo tener esta audiencia ayer por la noche en un caso distinto bajo otro nombre.
And that the existence of this warrant was only found because of fingerprint records.
Y que solamente se encontró la existencia de esta orden de detención debido a las huellas dactilares.
That creates a strong presumption that you are not going to voluntarily appear for court or surrender for any guilty verdict at the end of the case if you are convicted.
Esto crea una presunción fuerte de que usted no va a comparecer voluntariamente a sus audiencias judiciales, ni tampoco se va a entregar si existe un veredicto de culpable al final de su caso, si es que usted recibe un fallo condenatorio.
What did you want to say?
¿Qué es lo que gusta decir?
Bueno, en primer lugar, con su mayor respeto, si usted me da la oportunidad de venir a la corte, yo voy a venir, porque en esa corte de mesa me pusieron unas clases, no más que mi trabajo aquí en Phoenix se acabó y me mandaron para Cholo a trabajar y por ese proceso no terminé mi clase.
Un momento, espere.
Sorry.
In the first place, with the utmost respect, I would like to request the opportunity to be able to come to court, and I will come, because when I was at Mesa Court, they had given me some classes for me to take, and the thing is, my job ended in Phoenix, and I was sent over to work in Xolo, and that was the reason why I did not complete the classes.
Y por eso no terminé de coger mi clase, pero siempre ha querido no tener problemas con la justicia. Estoy aquí porque quiero resolver todos mis problemas y andar bien en las calles y estar con mi familia tranquilo.
And that's the reason why I was not able to complete the classes, but I always like to not have any issues with the law, and that's why I'm here. I want to resolve all this, and I want to be able to just walk around the streets happily with my family.
All right, sir. Well, the court remains deeply concerned about the fact that you maintain multiple aliases, and I have not looked at the recording from last night, but if you gave your name as Miguel Garcia last night, that was actually a crime.
Muy bien, señor. Esta juez sigue completamente preocupada sobre estos hechos, preocupada sobre los múltiples alias que usted utiliza. No he revisado yo la grabación de la audiencia de ayer por la noche, pero si usted dio el nombre de Miguel García para ese caso, eso en sí es un ilícito.
And so you will need to speak to your lawyer about persuading a trial judge that you have not been actively attempting to confuse authorities regarding your true identity.
Entonces va a tener que hablar con su abogado acerca de persuadir a un juez de juicios de que usted no está intentando activamente de confundir a las autoridades con su verdadera identidad.
Bond is set in your case at $25,000. It is cash only.
Voy a fijar una fianza en su caso de $25,000 en efectivo solamente.
If you deposit that with the court, you will be released on an ankle monitor.
$25,000.
Si usted deposita esa fianza en el tribunal, será puesto en libertad con una tobillera de monitoreo electrónico.
You may not have any contact with the alleged victim in this case, even if you have been having contact with that person between 2023 and now.
Usted no tiene permitido tener ningún contacto con la persona afectada de este caso, aun si usted ha estado teniendo contacto con esa persona desde el 2023 hasta ahora.
You may not respond to any contact from that alleged victim.
No contacto.
Usted no debe responder a ningún contacto de parte de esa presunta persona afectada.
You may not possess any weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, and no alcohol.
Usted no puede estar en tenencia de ningún arma, ni estar en tenencia de ninguna droga sin una receta válida, y no puede estar tampoco en tenencia de alcohol.
Everything you need to know will be on your paperwork. We're going to give you a printed copy of that.
Todo lo que usted tiene que saber va a aparecer en su papeleo. Le vamos a dar una copia impresa de eso.
You can speak to your lawyer about any motion to modify your release condition.
Usted puede hablar con su abogado acerca de presentar un pedimento para modificar sus medidas cautelares.
I also note that the allegations from last night were in fact violent.
También voy a hacer constar que las pretensiones de ayer por la noche eran violentas.
All right, I'll let you have one more word, sir, but that the court, you have failed to persuade the court that you are going to appear and not try to hide and use aliases to avoid prosecution.
Le voy a permitir que hable una vez más, señor, pero usted ha incumplido con persuadir a esta juez de que usted va a comparecer y que no va a intentar esconderse tras otros alias para evitar el procesamiento.
Yo nunca cambié mi nombre. El nombre ese me lo pusieron aquí, nunca cambié mi nombre. Ese nombre me lo puso mi patrón para trabajar. Cuando pasó el problema ayer allá, ese nombre fue que dieron. Cuando llegué aquí, que puse mi huella, ahí fue que salió y le dije que ese no era mi nombre. Pero yo nunca le hablé mentira a ustedes. Y $25,000, ¿de dónde voy a sacar $25,000?
Well, I never changed my name. That was the name that they put on here. That's the name that my boss had put on for me to work. But what happened yesterday, I spoke to them and I told them that after I gave my fingerprints and the other name popped out, I told them that was me. And I never lied. And I mean, $25,000, where am I going to get that from?
All right, sir, are you telling me that when you came to court last night, because I'm going to have someone watch the recording, and if it's not true, I'm literally going to add that information in and probably raise your bond. So, I'll let you translate. Go ahead.
Bueno, entonces lo que usted me está diciendo es que ayer que usted estuvo en la sala, voy a pedirle a alguien que vea esa grabación y si lo que usted me está diciendo no es verdad, voy a agregar esa información y probablemente voy a aumentar su fianza.
But if you gave your name as the same one you gave today, I would set the bail at $10,000 cash only.
Pero si usted dio el nombre, el mismo nombre que está dando el día de hoy, entonces voy a cambiar su fianza a $10,000 en efectivo solamente.
So, my question for you is, what name did you give last night at 8 p.m.?
Mi pregunta para usted es, ¿qué nombre dio usted ayer por la noche, a las 8 de la noche?
Di ese nombre porque estaba en el papel. Di ese nombre porque...
Because it was on the paperwork.
All right. Then, sir, we're done. Speaking about this court believes that all of its reasoning remains valid. Please step out to your left.
Si hemos terminado ahora, esta juez cree que todo su razonamiento es válido. Pase a su izquierda.
All right. Can you make a general call for service, please?
Yes, Your Honor. ¿Se encuentra alguien más en la sala que requiere asistencia de un intérprete de la lengua español? Si puede levantar la mano el que necesita asistencia de un intérprete.
Okay, looks like we're clear. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, Your Honor. Have a nice day.
You too. All right, Mr. Ivy. Danny Ivy, will you come to the podium? And then Christy Whitaker, you're next. Mr. Ivy, I need your full name and your date of birth, please.
Danny Ivy, 12/4/1989.
Okay, thanks. You're here because you've been indicted by a grand jury in an older case. That means they met, they heard evidence, and they found probable cause to charge you with theft of a means of transportation, a Class 3 felony, and that allegedly occurred September 2nd of 2024. This comes out of the Buckeye Police Department. But you'll get a copy of the charge and police reports from your lawyer. Pardon me, you're going to end up with the same lawyer for this case that you have for your other open case. And it looks like you may have more than one. So you're going to have the same lawyer for all of those cases. And your arraignment hearing on this new indictment will be May 8th at 8:30 in the morning, which is this coming Thursday. That's in the downtown Superior Court. And then I'm also setting a bail hearing for you that afternoon. I don't know if you've been through this before. Sometimes people with multiple cases have been through the bail hearing business. But in this case, on September 2nd of 2024, which is when you're accused of doing this, you had at least one open and pending felony case. And so when you come in with probable cause, while you have a pending felony case, I can't give you bail today. I have to hold you for a bail hearing. That's going to be 7 days from today at 1:30 in the afternoon. So in the morning you'll be arraigned. In the afternoon you'll have your bail hearing. And if you and your lawyer may even know about this case, often people do in these situations, you can waive that bail hearing if you want, but you'll have to talk to your lawyer about it. Everything is on your paperwork, though, and you'll be back in court on the 8th. If you step to your left, he's got your paperwork.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Whitaker? Then Brian Anderson, will you go to the chair? Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Christy Whitaker, 11/25/1982.
All right. Thank you. You are here on a new case and a pending a warrant in a pending case. I'm going to start with your new case. You were booked in for new allegations of possessing dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. It will be the same lawyer in this case that you have for your open case, which is number 17 on the calendar. You've been charged in that case with 2 counts of dangerous drug possession, 2 counts of narcotic drug possession. Those are all Class 4 felonies, and drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. In the older case, the bench warrant issued for your arrest after you failed to appear at a status conference on April 21st. So we're going to put these together for your next court date. It's a status conference, May 7th, which is this Wednesday, May 7th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing for both cases on Friday, May 9th at 8:30 in the morning. Now, in the new case, just as with the previous defendant, because there's probable cause for new felonies, while you have any pending felony case, you cannot be given bail at this hearing. You must be held for a bail hearing. So I'm scheduling a bail hearing in the new case only for the afternoon of May 8th at 1:30 p.m. It is an evidentiary hearing, so when you see your paperwork, that evidentiary hearing is your bail hearing. You may or may not be found eligible for bail on the 8th. You're not eligible today. You will be held without bond in the new case only. Now, in the older case, I'm just going to affirm the bond that was set when you failed to appear, and that is $1,000 secured with release conditions. But you shouldn't even try to post that bond if you're still being held on the new case. But you see your lawyer for everything on the 7th. Your lawyer will tell you what's going to happen at the bail hearing the next day.
Well, see, on the first case, I had talked to my lawyer, and he rescheduled it for the 9th at 8:30.
All right, well, talk to your lawyer about that. That doesn't change the outcome of the new case because you have a pending case. It's not the fact that you didn't appear. It's the fact that you have an open case at all. Even if you're going to every one of your court hearings, if you have any open case, and I do see you have what's called an initial appearance on a bench warrant. I see that on the 9th. So I'm going to go ahead and affirm this bond because you're going to be back in court on the 7th. And I don't know that the court was willing to quash that warrant. So what the court does in those instances, so your lawyer, yes, they did reschedule it, but the way that it works is the court doesn't quash the warrant until you show your face in front of the judge. That's why you got arrested on the warrant. And so in any event, not to say that the judge would have quashed the warrant. So talk to your lawyer about all of this. You're going to have the same lawyer for both things. This would still be happening even if you had appeared on the 21st. You would still be not bondable in the new case because you have any open and pending felony. All right, if you step to your left, you get your paperwork. Good luck, man. Mr. Anderson, Mr. Scott Holmes, will you go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Good morning, Your Honor. It's Brian Todd Anderson.
What's your date of birth, sir?
12974.
Thank you. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for 2 allegations of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. Class 4 felonies. 1 allegation is from March 29th of this year. 1 is from April 30th. There's probable cause for both of those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. And there was already a warrant out for you in your probation case. You are on probation for misconduct involving weapons, a Class 4 felony. There was a petition to revoke your probation filed on April 29th, and a warrant was issued for your arrest. It alleges a violation of terms 1, 4, and 8, and I'm going to note, by the way, just 1 second. I'm going to make a little note on 42, just 1 second. Because one of the term 1 allegations in that petition to revoke was the March 29th weapons possession. So what I'm noting in my order is that I also considered the weapons possession alleged on April 30th. All right. I am appointing a lawyer for you in both matters. You're going to end up with the same lawyer for both. And, second. Okay. All right. Your next court date in the new case is going to be May 7th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. That's a status conference. Your preliminary hearing for the new case only is going to be May 9th at 8:30 in the morning, same court. Then in your probation case, your court date is in between those May 8th at 8:30. That's a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing. In the probation case, the court finds that you will in all reasonable probability be revoked to prison in that case, so you do not have bail at all in that case. That is the probation matter. In the new case, the court believes the state's recommendation is appropriate on these facts and given the amount of time that you are facing, and that is $50,000 secured with release conditions. But you shouldn't even try to post that bail if you're still being held without bond in your probation case. As I said, you should end up with the same lawyer for both cases, and you will see that person next week. Everything I just told you is on your paperwork. If you step to left, they'll give you a copy. Thank you. All right. I need Mr. Holmes, please, and then Joel Dela Cruz. Will you go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Scott Austin Holmes, June 21st, 1989.
Thank you. You're here on a probation violation warrant. You are on probation for a Class 6 felony, and the probation department filed a petition to revoke your probation on March 5 of 2025, alleging that you violated terms 3, 5, and 15. You'll get a copy of it from your lawyer, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is in the downtown probation court, May 8th at 8:30 in the morning. It's a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing. I am affirming the probation judge's order that you are to be held without bond in this case because you will, in all reasonable probability, be revoked to prison. So you do not have bail today. Everything you need to know is on your paperwork. If you step to your left, the officer is going to give you a copy. Okay, thank you. Mr. De La Cruz? Then Rebecca Hayes, will you go to the chair, please? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth?
Joel De La Cruz Felix, 7993.
Is De La Cruz your first last name or your second last name?
First last name.
Okay. And so we have Felix listed as a middle name. Is that actually your second last name?
Second last name.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll get that corrected on the new case. If I do it on the old case, it won't even come across. Okay. All right. So you are here on three things. One is the new case, the new felony allegations. The second is an arrest warrant for some older allegations from last year. Lastly is a justice court warrant from last year. I'm going to start with your brand new felony case. You were booked in on 2 allegations of robbery as Class 4 felonies. There is probable cause for both of those, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date in this new case will be a status conference May 7th at 8:30 in the morning with the preliminary hearing May 9th at 8:30. Then in number 33 on the calendar, you've been charged in a criminal complaint with possessing narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, possessing drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, 2 counts of misdemeanor driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. All of those are alleged to have occurred on March 17th of 2024 out of the Mesa Police Department. So you get a copy of those charges and police reports from your lawyer. You're going to end up with the same lawyer for this case and the other felony. And same court dates for this case as for the robbery case. It's status conference May 7 at 8:30, preliminary hearing May 9 at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Finally, you're here on a justice court warrant from the Santan Justice Court for failing to appear in a driving on suspended license case. It's a Class 1 misdemeanor, and this warrant went out September 8th of 2024. It looks like you failed to appear based off of a citation. Your arraignment hearing in the Santan Justice Court will be May 6th, which is this Tuesday, May 6th at 8:30 in the morning. All right, in the robbery case, your bond is $25,000. It is secured. In the drug case, the later charged one, your bond is $2,500 secured. And in the justice court case, it is $50 secured to make you eligible for credit for time in custody and to ensure that the sheriffs will take you to court on Tuesday if you don't bond out. So your total bond is $27,550, I believe, but you can add it up, and that is secured. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions, you may absolutely go to no part of those 2 businesses, no contact with the alleged victims or any other witnesses, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. Everything you need to know is on your paperwork. If you step to your left, they're going to give you a copy of that. Thank you. Ms. Hayes? And then Aziz Olanian, will you please go to the chair? Ma'am, can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Rebecca Rose Hayes, 6286.
Thanks. You're here on 2 warrants that issued from the Superior Court. Looks like in the open case, you've been charged with theft of a means of transportation, a Class 3 felony. You failed to appear at a trial management conference in front of the trial judge on March 13th of this year. and a warrant was issued for your arrest. That same court date, March 13th, was also a non-witness violation hearing in your probation case. You are on felony probation, and there's a petition to revoke pending. So Judge Nichols also ordered a warrant in your probation case. So we're going to set both of your matters back in front of Judge Nichols on May 6th. That is a status conference, Tuesday, May 6th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm affirming the bonds that she set. It is $25,000 secured in the pending case, $2,000 secured in the probation case for $27,000. If you bond out, comply with all of your conditions, do not miss your court dates. Everything's on your paperwork.
Okay, I couldn't tell you that I was having surgery.
If you can prove that to Judge Nichols, she may make a different decision, ma'am. But based on how you were arrested, which was not a self-surrender, the court believes that you're unlikely to be able to prove that, and or that it's going to make any difference to Judge Nichols. So talk to your lawyer when you fail to appear at a trial management conference in front of your trial judge. I have no reason to second guess her decision. Your lawyer was present when this issued. You have 1, 2, 3 priors for theft of means. So this appears to be an appropriate bail in your case. I have no reason to second guess your trial judge in this case. And I would never take somebody's word that they were in fact having surgery and unable to appear. You will have to prove that, and there's no possible way you can do that right here today. So talk to your lawyer about proving that to the judge, and she may make a different decision.
Okay.
Step to your left, you get your paperwork. Mr. Alanian, then Ricardo Figueroa, will you go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Aziz Alanian, 12-12-93.
All right, thanks. You're here because you've been indicted by a grand jury in an older case. And that means they heard evidence, and they found probable cause to charge you with aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, alleged 2 different ways on the same occasion. And that occasion is alleged to be January 15th of 2024, so more than a year ago. And this comes out of the Clean Creek Police Department. But you will get police reports and a copy of the charges from at this point, your lawyer. It looked like you were allowed to waive counsel in your pending case, in your other pending case. Yeah. Then you very likely would be allowed to do it in this case as well. But as you know now, that is a very formal proceeding. So I'm going to appoint a lawyer for you. If you want to waive counsel again, that lawyer has to help you try to do that. And hopefully that makes sense because you've already literally been through it once. But it's a very formal proceeding, which we do not do here at the jail. So I'm giving you a lawyer. If you want to waive, talk to that lawyer about helping you waive counsel in this ag DUI. So you do need to go be arraigned, though, May 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That is in the downtown Superior Court. And I'm affirming the bail that was set in this case, but I'm setting it as secured. I believe they ordered it as cash. I don't see a justification for cash, particularly on top of the bail that you have in the other case. So I'm just ordering that as secured. If you do post it, you're going to do drug and alcohol testing for pretrial services. And I'm ordering you in 2 different places not to drive. You do not appear to have the legal right. And from this, it appears that you've already committed a felony. There's at least probable cause to believe you committed a felony involving that. So you do not drive while the case is pending unless you get a different order from the court in this case. You should end up in front of the same judge, one thinks. I don't know. It's up to the court admin. Everything's going to be on your paperwork. You just go be arraigned next week, and they'll give you your trial judge assignment then. Okay. All right, thanks. Mr. Figueroa? And Brian Benson, will you go to the chair? Hi, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Ricardo Anthony Figueroa, 042793.
Okay, thanks. You're here on 1 new case and 1 probation hold. I'm going to start with your new case. In your new case, you were booked in for several things. This is what the court found probable cause for. Resisting arrest, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Failing to obey a police officer, a Class 2 misdemeanor. And assault as a Class 3 misdemeanor. The court did not, for purposes of this hearing only, find probable cause for the drug and drug paraphernalia allegations, which does not mean they're dismissed. It just means I'm not setting release conditions for them, and you can talk to your lawyer more about how that works. But those were dangerous drug possession, and that's because they accuse you of having fentanyl. Fentanyl is not a dangerous drug under Arizona law. It's a narcotic drug. So they picked the wrong statute, and they didn't actually mention any alleged items of drug paraphernalia. So that's why there's no probable cause right now for booking purposes only. Those charges are not dismissed. Talk to your lawyer about how that works. So I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your status conference in this new case is scheduled for May 7th at 8:30 in the morning in the Downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing May 9th at 8:30 in the same court. You're also here on a probation hold, and the probation department is alleging that your new arrest violates your probation. So I am appointing a lawyer for you in probation court. Your court date is going to be May 8th at 8:30 in the morning. Address on your paperwork. And in each of these two cases, you have a $1,000 secured appearance bond and written release conditions. That is $2,000 total. If you bond out, comply with all of those. Call your PO within 72 hours of release. Step to your left to give you a copy of that paperwork. Mr. Benson? And then Alice Minor, will you please go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Brian David Benson, 4/17/82.
All right, thanks. You're here on a probation warrant. You're on probation for a Class 4 felony, and it was already a petition to revoke filed in your case back on April 4th. It alleges that you violated terms 4, 5, and 7 of your intensive probation. You'll get a copy of the petition from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date is a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing 1 week from today, which is May 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That's in the downtown probation court. Your bond is $750. It is secured. If you bond out, comply with all of your conditions, and call your PO within 24 hours. You step to your left, I'll give you that paperwork. Thank you. Ms. Minor? And then Cody Boron, will you go to the chair? Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and date of birth?
Alice Minor, 8/25/89.
All right, thanks. You are here on 2 probation warrants. You're on probation in 2 different felony cases, and there were petitions to revoke your probation filed in both cases. That was on January 6th of this year. The petitions allege that you violated terms 3 and 5. You'll get copies of those from your lawyer, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is going to be a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing in 1 week, which is May 8th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown probation court. In your Class 4 felony probation case, your bond is $250 secured. In your Class 6 felony case, wait a minute, I have this backwards. Apologies. No, it's $750 secured per case for $1,500 total. If you bond out, comply with all of your conditions, and call your PO within 72 hours. Catch your paperwork. Okay. Mr. Boron. Then Benjamin Dossett, will you go to the chair, please? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Yes, my name is Cody Boron, and 01/26/1992.
All right, thanks. You're here on a warrant from the East Mesa Justice Court. Oh, wait a minute, wrong person. Sorry. A warrant, yes, it's East Mesa Justice Court. And in this case, you have been charged with interfering with judicial proceedings, also known as disobeying the order or mandate of a court, and that is a Class 1 misdemeanor. This warrant went out for you on April 10th of this year. Your arraignment hearing is going to be May 6th at 8:30 in the morning in the East Mesa Justice Court. I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your bond is $500. It is secured. If you bond out, you've got to be in this court 5 days from now, or you will lose your bond money, and there'll be a warrant issued for your arrest. If you don't make bond, then the sheriffs will take you over for court on Tuesday, and you can talk to the Justice of the Peace. You do have written conditions. Don't go to the scene of the alleged crimes, no contact with any alleged victims or witnesses, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol, and you have to obey any and every order of protection that's been served on you. If you step to your left, I'll give you a copy of your paperwork.
Could you explain the bonding stuff? I'm new to this. I don't know.
You'll have to call, you can call a bail bondsman to see if they will write a bond for you for that amount and what they want for it. They want a fee, and they usually want collateral. Also, the officers can give you instructions to tell family and friends. If you want family or friends to come and bond you out, they go down to bond and fines and they post for you. If you don't post bond, you'll see the Justice of the Peace in 5 days, and they can make a different decision about your release conditions depending on what they want.
So it's $500, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
If you step to your left, you get that paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Dossett, then Ryan Bloodsworth, will you please go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Hi, my name is Benjamin Nolan Allen Dossett. My birthday is May 11th of 1999.
Okay, thanks. You're here on 2 probation warrants. You're on probation in 2 different cases, and there were petitions to revoke your probation filed on April 29th, so a couple days ago. Those petitions allege that you violated terms 3, 4, and 5 of your felony probation. You'll get copies of those from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date for both cases will be in 1 week, which is May 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That's a revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing in the Downtown Superior Court. Your bond in each case is $250. It is secured for $500 total. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions, call your PO within 72 hours of hitting the street. If you step to your left, I'll give you a copy of your paperwork.
Okay, I have a couple questions to ask.
Okay.
Okay, so when I got arrested yesterday, they said I didn't have any warrants.
Okay, I guess they were wrong. The warrants found you. The warrants can find, when the sheriffs run you, your show is a page 2. A page 2 means a warrant that was found after you got booked in. So that means the cops who arrested you didn't see any.
Okay.
But it means the sheriffs found them after you got booked in.
Is there any chance, I mean, is there any chance, I understand, like, is there any chance you could work with me? Like, I would really appreciate it if maybe I could.
This court won't, sir, no. And I'm reading your probation notes. No, that probation gives people a ton of chances. And honestly, this has been going on for a long time. This court has zero confidence in you based on the notes. So no, sir, I'm not in the business of second chances.
May I say one last thing?
One last thing.
Okay, I've been clean off of drugs since January 23rd when I got last arrested.
I don't know, sir. I don't know. Standing in court and scratching doesn't give me a lot of confidence.
My arms are itchy.
And I don't know what you got arrested for last night. I don't really care. You have been, on 2 cases, you have been very seriously messing up on probation, allegedly. But none of these probation notes lead this court to believe you're going to do anything other than continue to do that. The probation department waits a very long time before they go to this. You literally went into the wind, sir, and you need to talk to the probation judge. So the answer for you is...
Even if you don't change your mind, can I still finish what I was saying at least?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I just started working. I mean, as you can see by my shirt, I haven't gotten a phone, but I've tried to contact my probation officer multiple times. I don't know his number, but I've tried calling, and when I tried to call the office to see to get his number, they were closed. I'm in contact with my ex-fiance to get my son back into my life. I have a dog. I just got somewhere to stay. I really am trying. I've been clean for over 3 months off of all drugs. I understand if that doesn't change anything. I know. I really would appreciate it if I can just get a chance to prove, really.
I gave you a chance to talk. Everything's on your paperwork. Please step to your left. Mr. Bloodsworth? Then Cody Harden, go to the chair. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Ryan, February 8th, 1980.
Are you Ryan Bloodsworth?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. You're here on a probation warrant. You are on probation for a Class 6 felony, and there was a petition to revoke your probation filed on February 13th of this year, and it alleges that you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. You will get a copy of it from your lawyer, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date is May 8th, which is next week at 8:30 in the morning for a revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing. Your bond is $500. It is secured. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions. Call your PO within 72 hours. The number is on your paperwork. If you step to your left, I'll give you a copy of that. All right. Mr. Harden and Mark Colley, we go to the chair. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Cody Harden, 05/17/96.
All right, thank you. You are here on a probation violation warrant, and in your case, there was a petition to revoke filed on March 25th. It alleges that you violated terms 3 and 5. You'll get a copy of it from your lawyer, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. The next court date is a revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing May 8th at 8:30 in the morning in the Downtown Superior Court. Your bond is $250. It is secured. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions, and do not miss your court dates. If you step to your left, he's going to give you a copy of it. All right, then Mr. Colley, after that, Joshua Kuhneman, will you please go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Mark Colley, January 18th, 1995.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Colley. You are here on 2 probation violation warrants. You're on probation in 2 felony cases. On February 24th of this year, there were petitions to revoke your probation filed in both of those cases. They allege that you violated terms 3 and 5. You'll get copies of those from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your court date is going to be a revocation arraignment, possible disposition hearing, next Wednesday, May 8th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm sorry, that's Thursday, May 8th. That's in the downtown Superior Court. Your bond in each of the 2 cases is $250 secured for $500 total. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions and call your PO within 72 hours. He has your paperwork. And then Jared Weeblehouse. Will you go to the chair, please? I need Mr. Kuhneman, Joshua. Where is he? He's got a black t-shirt, officer. There he is. Mr. Kuhneman? All right. Thank you. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Joshua Kuhneman.
Which date of birth?
10/30/86.
All right, thanks. You're here on a probation warrant. You're on probation for a Class 6 felony, and there was already a petition to revoke your probation filed back on April 17th. It alleges that you violated terms 3 and 5. You'll get a copy of it from your lawyer, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is 1 week from today, May 8th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown probation court. That's a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing. Your bond is $250. It is secured. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions. Do not miss your court dates. This gentleman has your paperwork. Mr. Weeblehouse and Anthony Mangum, will you go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Jared Keith Weeblehouse.
Which date of birth?
Jared Keith Weeblehouse.
What's your date of birth?
10/22/1992.
Thank you. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs or impaired to the slightest degree. It is a Class 4 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is a status conference, May 15th, which is 2 weeks from now at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. Your preliminary hearing will be May 19th at 8:30. I'm going to release you to pretrial services with alcohol testing and monitoring, and in 2 places, as prominent as I can make it, orders not to drive. You do not have the legal right to drive. I've seen your MVD record, so assuming it is correct, you could try to prove that it's not correct, but it looks like you do not have the legal right to drive. So, no driving. You will alcohol test. And I'm just going to, as a parting gift, I'm going to give you a free preview of the sentence that you already face in this case. The reason I do that in ag DUI cases is because people who commit this kind of offense repetitively, they absolutely do kill other people with their cars. So we get to do those hearings for them as well on murder and manslaughter charges. Usually murder too, if they have any kind of a DUI prior. The county attorney here is going to go for murder, and they can get that conviction. So the mandatory minimum for what you're charged with, you are not convicted. This is the start of your case. So a lot of people say, she said I'm going to prison. What I'm telling you is there's a real possibility of going to prison. It is a mandatory minimum of 4 months in the state penitentiary, followed by probation. It is a special animal under Arizona law. We have some of the harshest DUI laws in the nation, which frankly, working this job, I'm not against. People murder other people with their cars all the time. I signed a warrant this morning for someone who absolutely obliterated a BMW motorcycle at 100 miles an hour on the freeway, and they never even touched their brakes before they took him out. That person was under the influence. So, 4 months, suited up in an orange jumpsuit at the men's state prison. They usually house you at the Lewis State Prison Complex on the west side of town. I'm telling you this because I think you're from California originally, or some other state. Yeah. So you're going to suit up in an orange jumpsuit at the men's prison, not the jail, the prison, the real one. And then you get the privilege of probation. And no judge can give you less if you're convicted of a Class 4 in Arizona. Talk to your lawyer, look up the statutes. Please Google the statute. You don't have to take my word for it. The reason I tell people this is because I always worry there's not much I can do about it, but I worry that you're going to kill somebody while I let you out. I'm going to let you out, and you're going to do it again, and you're going to kill somebody. So I try to scare people straight with just the truth about the penalties, because I hope it's this much makes you this much less likely to go hurt somebody when I'm the one whose name is on the order letting you out. Go look it up, because if you come in on the same offense while the case is pending, to my understanding, I'm not the county attorney and everything is up to them, is that they'll start their offer at 2.5 years in the state penitentiary, even if you don't hurt anyone. Because if they get you on both, you're going to do no less than 4.5. So you already face a prison sentence. If that is not enough to get you to comply while this case is pending, I don't know what is. I cannot help that level of foolishness. So please verify what I'm saying. Talk to your lawyer. I gave you a lawyer. You can literally just Google the statute when you get home. You'll be home later tonight. You're going to get an envelope about the alcohol testing. Do not blow it off. Your lawyer will want to know the results as well. The way things go in DUI court is they're going to try to prove there's hope for you. And if the alcohol testing results show there's hope for you, that can help you. That being said, I want you testing. And it looks like in yours on the PC that the blood alcohol was 0.89, which is not as high as many as we see. And so that's the kind of level where people can help their case if they're showing that they can control that urge. But that's all just speculative on my part. Your case goes how your case goes. It's up to the county attorney whether you even get formally charged right now, whether they wait for blood results, etc. But the penalty's not going to change. Even if they don't charge you right now and they wait for blood results, if you get convicted of a Class 4 DUI in Arizona, you will do not less than 120 days in the men's prison. If you're lucky, it'll be the Louisville prison. If Louisville, because it's Perryville for the women. If Lewis is full, they're going to send you to Southern Arizona for 4 months or something. So please don't play with your release conditions. As far as I can tell you, I think you have a job or you're an electrician or something.
I'm an electrician.
Yeah.
I have a daughter.
You might have kids.
I have a daughter, June 1st.
Yeah. So seriously, do not take a bad situation and make it genuinely life-changing. Don't commit this or any other crime while the case is pending. You are presumed innocent. I'm releasing you. I'm just literally trying to frighten you for your own good and for the good of our community. So if you'll step to your left, you are released. You'll see your lawyer in a couple weeks. Thank you. Mr. Mangum? And then Dewey Christensen, will you go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth?
My name is Anthony Mangum, July 29th, 1964.
All right, thank you. You're here on a warrant from the San Marcos Justice Court. It's for knowingly displaying a fictitious license plate, which is a Class 2 misdemeanor. This warrant issued March 6th of 2023. From the timing of it, it looks to me like a failure to appear from a citation. So I'm not appointing a lawyer for you because I'm releasing you. And on this type of charge, unless you get a bond, you're not entitled to a lawyer. You can just represent yourself. You can always hire a lawyer. Go to your arraignment hearing May 20th at 10 in the morning in the San Marcos Justice Court. The address is on your paperwork. This is a fairly minor type of offense. I am releasing you because now you see what will happen a couple years from now if you don't go. So if you don't like being arrested, you need to go talk to the justice of the peace. You will very likely never do another night in jail on a charge like this as long as you show up, okay? Everything's on your paperwork. It still takes hours to be released. Try to be patient. You're just in line with the entirety of the jail system. But you'll be out later today. Don't miss your court date on the 20th, okay?
Your Honor, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Have a great day.
Mr. Christensen, and then Alexander Bogdanich, will you go to the chair? Mr. Christensen first, then Bogdanich. Hello, sir, can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
David Christensen.
Date of birth, sir?
10/13/1997.
Okay, thanks. You're here on a new case. You got arrested for theft of a means of transportation. It's a Class 3 felony, and there is probable cause for it. I am appointing a lawyer for you, and your next court date, and this is one where I feel like, no, because I had like 4 theft of means today. Okay, I don't know that you have a co-defendant. Some people do, some people don't. All right, so you don't seem to. So I'm appointing a lawyer for you. Your status conference is going to be May 15th, which is in 2 weeks, 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. Preliminary hearing, May 19th at 8:30 in the same court. You actually qualify for release on your own recognizance. This is a property crime, and it's not that I don't think there's probable cause for it. It doesn't mean that you don't have what I would like to call a bad problem, because you have priors. You have priors. And there is probable cause for this felony, but right now, there's nothing popping out at me to suggest that you aren't smart enough to go to court, talk to your lawyer, and try to face these charges. If you prove that you won't, this is what happens. And you're not going to get any sympathy for blowing off court in a felony case. It is not a misdemeanor, it's felony. So you need to go to court and talk to your lawyer. As I tell people, many outcomes are possible. If you don't show up, you increase the likelihood of a prison outcome. That's just statistics.
Yes, sir.
You've got first-degree failure to appear convictions in other cases. Honestly, an argument could be made that you're not smart enough to come to court. But it is my hope, looks like you didn't go to prison for those, that you would like to avoid a prison outcome, and that might make you more likely to face the charges. If you prove that it makes you more likely to not show up, you're just going to get a warrant and a bond. So I'm releasing you. Don't have any contact with the alleged victim or any of the witnesses. Don't go back there. I think it was a tow yard. Do not go back there. Do you have any reason to go back there?
No, Your Honor.
Don't. Everything's on your paperwork. Don't miss your court dates. I'm just not making anyone babysit you because, frankly, you're going to decide to come to court or you won't. And as I said, this is a property offense. You don't have violent prior. So I'm willing to let you prove whether you will or won't go to court. If you prove that you won't, this is what happens.
Yes, sir. May I say something really quick?
Sure.
I just really appreciate you because this was a very stupid decision. My girlfriend
Well, don't say anything that could incriminate you. Now, the reason I'm stopping you is you just got the very best possible outcome here. You don't have to say things that could be used against you.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, no problem. I just try to protect your rights.
All right. You have a good day.
You too, sir. All right, Mr. Bogdanich and then Christopher Marino, will you come to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth?
My name's Alex Bogdanic.
Which date of birth, sir?
2384.
Okay, thanks. You're in a new case. You got booked in for two things. I found probable cause for one of them, and that's the assault, a class 1 misdemeanor. For purposes of this hearing only, I did not find probable cause on the drug paraphernalia allegation because the police didn't provide enough specifics to support it.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean it's dismissed. I'm just setting release conditions on the misdemeanor. So talk to your lawyer about that. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is a status conference May 15th at 8:30 in the morning, which is 2 weeks from today, downtown Phoenix. Preliminary hearing May 19th at 8:30. The dates and the address are all on your paperwork.
Okay, am I released into custody or am I?
No, what I want to know is, if I release you, will you stay away from that location, which is 20th Avenue and Northern? Will you stay away from that business?
Yeah, I've never been around that business anyway, so.
All right. That is my main concern. Do not go back there. No contact with any of the
I might have to go back there to get my sleeping bag and my clothing and stuff.
Is your stuff at 20th Street?
Yeah, I was picking it up as he was squirting me with the mace.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put one civil standby as permitted, but you can't go there on your own. It's very unlikely your stuff is there, but you never know. So I'm going to say permitted with law enforcement.
So I have to call them ahead of time then?
Yes, you call the non-emergency line and say, I need a civil standby at this location to pick up any of my stuff that might be there. They'll send a cop. If you go there on your own, you'll be arrested again just for violating this order. So I'm releasing you, Mr. Bogdanich, and but I will tell you, you've got, they're older. You got some violent priors. You got some stuff. The recommendation was for a bond, but on this fact scenario, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're going to stay away from there. And like I said, I didn't find probable cause for a felony, just a misdemeanor. That sounds like maybe he started it. Right. So don't go back there, okay? Don't miss your court dates.
Because he did really start it. He come here, and I don't know.
Well, I'm taking that into account. It doesn't necessarily mean you get out of the charges, but I'm taking that into account. Good luck, sir. All right. Mr. Marino, and then Aaron Gonzalez. Will you go to the chair? Right here, Mr. Marino, right up here, sir. And then Aaron Gonzalez, if you go to the chair. Hi, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
It's Christopher John Marino, 1975.
February 24th?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Thanks. You're here on a Peoria City Court warrant for a third-degree criminal trespass charge. It's a Class 3 misdemeanor. And I am setting an arraignment hearing for you on May 20th at 9 in the morning, which is almost 3 weeks from now, May 20th at 9 o'clock in Peoria. It's on your paperwork.
Okay.
I'm going to release you. We didn't find any prior bookings for you on this case, so I'm going to treat it as a first failure to appear.
Are you there? Are you there for real? You're right there. Sorry, I just seen something that's really nice for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mr. Marino, what I need to understand is, are you going to go to court like I order you to?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
That's the most important thing.
Okay.
You have to show up. This is the very lowest class of crime on the books. It's basically aggravated homelessness. I'm willing to give you a do-over.
Okay, no.
But you have to go to court because, Mr. Marino, if you don't, Then when we look you up next time, we'll see that I let you out and gave you a chance to go.
Okay.
If you can't get there, you need to call them.
Okay.
You got 18 days to figure out how you're going to get there. If you're on the street, maybe you can find a place to stay that's nearby.
Sure.
So you can just walk over at 9 o'clock. I don't know. But you have to figure it out. If you miss another court date, you're going to get arrested again, and then we might give you a $50 or $100 bond for this. Okay?
Okay.
So please don't lose your paperwork. That's where you have to be in 18 days. Okay?
Thank you.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Aaron Jacob Gonzalez, 2799.
Okay, thanks. You're here on a new case. You got booked in for theft of a means of transportation. It's a class 3 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date is a status conference, May 15th at 8:30 in the morning. Preliminary hearing, May 19th at 8:30. You also qualify for release on your own recognizance. And BD records also show that your license is canceled. So I've ordered you in 2 places. You can't mistake it. Do not drive. You don't have the legal right to drive. Do not drive. No contact with the alleged victim. They allege it's your girlfriend's sister. I'm also ordering you no contact with your co-defendant. She got the same order from somebody else at 8 o'clock this morning, not to have contact with you. That's Jessica Cruz. Do not have contact with her. Do not have contact with the alleged victim. It does not mean the court doesn't believe there's probable cause for this crime. It just means based on your criminal history, which does not include any felonies, we are going to give you a chance to come to court or not on your own. If you prove that you won't, you get a warrant, you get a bond. All right, if you step to your left, you get your paperwork. Thanks. All righty, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 house calls. Officer is Mr. Lucas Maples, Joshua Storm, Ms. Felicia Fonville, and Mr. Terrence Nez. Are they not physically present in court because they got isolated by the sheriff's office from general population as a potential risk of danger to themselves and others? Just a yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. I did get an affirmative answer from the officer, so I will go conduct those initial appearances in-house in person immediately following this recording. And I will alert Lucas Maples, born 3/19/88, that he's here on 2 matters. One is an arrest warrant. The other one is a probation warrant. In number 22 on the calendar, he's been charged in a new complaint with narcotic drug possession, class 4 felony, theft by control of a stolen credit card, class 5 felony, drug paraphernalia possession, class 6 felony, theft and fraudulent use of a credit card. Those are both class 1 misdemeanors within the legislative state of August 22, 2024. I'm appointing a lawyer to represent him in this case and in his probation case, where there was already a warrant out for him because the petition to revoke was filed on April 24th, and it alleges that he violated terms 3, 4, and 5. So his court date in the new case, his court dates will be a status conference May 7th and a preliminary hearing May 9th. And on May 8th at 8:30, those are all at 8:30, have a revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing. All of those hearings are next week in the downtown Superior Court. All right, in the new case, I'm setting a $50 placeholder bond. In the probation case, I'm setting a $750 secured appearance bond. That is $800 total. With release conditions, I'll go over with him, including no victim contact, calling his PO within 72 hours of any release. Joshua Storm is here on a municipal warrant from Goodyear City Court. He's been charged with disorderly conduct, class 1 misdemeanor, and that's back on January 2nd of 2024. In this case, this is a post-adjudication failure to comply or failure to appear, issued 2/21 of 25 out of the Goodyear City Court. And I'm setting an arraignment hearing May 7 at 8:30 in the Goodyear City Court. I'm appointing a lawyer for him for the bond issue only, and I'm intending to set bail in his case in the amount of $250 secured plus written release conditions, including no victim contact. In Felicia Fonville's case, she's here on a new case. She got booked in for knowing child abuse, knowing or intentional. That is a class 5 felony. Aggravated assault. Oh, that's not a law enforcement officer. Well, I'm not going to reprint it, but it's a class 5 felony under one version of the statute, also a class 4 under the first responder version, and endangering the life or health of a minor, class 1 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for all 3 of those offenses, and I am appointing a lawyer for Ms. Fonville. Her next court dates, assuming that I think I can safely release her to pretrial with alcohol testing and monitoring, which is my inclination, I'm going to give her court date status conference May 15 at 8:30, preliminary hearing May 19 at 8:30. If after I talk to her, it appears that she is not likely to comply with release conditions and come to court, then if I set bail for her, that will move court dates to May 7th and May 9th at 8:30 in the morning. I am going to order her not to go to the scene of the alleged crimes, no contact with the alleged victims, which would be both her child and the employee, and the police officer. Well, I don't think the employee is a victim, but the police officer certainly is. And no contact with any co-defendant, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. I'm going to order alcohol testing if I do release her to pretrial services. And I'm going to order that she not have the care or physical custody of anyone under the age of 18, even temporarily without a further court order. Mr. Terrence Nez, born 11/12/2001, turning a new case. He got booked in for weapons possession by a prohibited person, class 4 felony, disorderly conduct with a weapon, and discharging a firearm in the city limits. Those are both class 6 felonies. An alleged offense date back on June 19th of 2024. And there is probable cause for those. I am appointing a lawyer for him and planning to set a status conference date of May 9th at 8:30 with a preliminary hearing. Status conference May 7th at 8:30, preliminary hearing May 9th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. And in this case, these are older offenses. They are of concern, and the sheriff's office reported that he got isolated for aggressive behavior, and that he was trying to fight others in general population. And based on the totality of the case, the court is concerned about him. However, it is not a newly alleged case, and the court has noted that right now he has not been accused of aggravated assaults, just disorderlies with the weapon. So it's the court's inclination to set bail in this case in the amount of $5,000 secured instead of the $25,000 recommended by the state, with release conditions that will include no going to the scene of the alleged crimes, no contact with any alleged victims, witness, arresting officers, co-defendants, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. If anything changes after I conduct these initial appearances in-house after this recording, my final written order will reflect the court's ultimate decision. It is not the court's intention to update the recording, but parties should look at my final written order to see what the court ultimately determined. All right, with that, this court is going to stand in recess until 2 p.m. this afternoon.